Hello, disciplinary tubers, and welcome back to Let's Play some more Lobotomy Corporation. We are live again, and this is another new day for a new stream. This is also, just for interest's sake, probably the last recording of the old i5 CPU. Should be ready to build tomorrow, and then every future series after that will have, well, I'm sure it'll be way different for you guys watching it in the future, but anyway, it'll be nicer for us in the present. So with that said, it's a new day. We finished our suppression, and now we got a new department and a new abnormality. I've moved over myself and Jelka to start the work. You can see some pretty good armor that I put on myself, and Robert is also geared up pretty well, so is Giral. Robert got, because he's been doing all the really scary work down here, we kept him geared first, and we'll hopefully get the sniper rifle today, because we're almost there. We just need another 40 points or so. And we probably won't be able to get this one today on the single day, because it's going to take a bit of work. And we've got all these, so almost there to 3 Aleph sets. That's pretty sweet. That said, I've moved around the equipment just a tiny little bit, but we're pretty short on equipment, like... That's alright, Dobry, no big deal, no big deal. We're starting to get some good gear up here, but we still don't have very much wall level, and we're pretty much running out of useful, not terrible, HE tier gear. So the goal is get more gear, start recruiting some new employees, because I don't like the idea of having areas with 1 or 2 backups, because when we get like the ordeals and stuff, this is not a lot of people to fight them off, and well, they're going to get harder. So let's get going. So, what do we get down in hey, I didn't prepare or didn't plan on taking this one. I didn't recognize the box that I selected at the end of the last day. But I do know who that is now, because it's got a Red Riding Hood. And that's fairly easy to guess. So, perhaps today will be the day where we'll finally see some exciting combos. This is going to put a bit of a crimp in our plans, actually, but it should be interesting. Well, let's get to work. We also have a special button here, if you're paying attention. So there's a request button. So you can't do temperance attachment style work. It's kind of the same as the this one. It's different. This is protection. This is request. So we'll see what that exactly means as we do some research. And so of the 3 other options, instinct, insight, or repression, I feel like we'll go with no, let's go with insight maybe, because instinct worked on the wolf, and this is going to be kind of the foil to the wolf, I think. So I will take the hit because I've got Aleph tier armor, so I'll go in first. And if I die, well, that's pretty terrible. Tell me, if you ever see that furry bastard, the price for my handiwork will be free the day I cut that thing's head off. She spends most of her time grinding her axe. This is looking good. You can see small and huge scars on her skin, through flapping hood when she engages. Okay, lots of scars, flapping hood. Everything ends when she faces the wolf. I almost want to see that one right now. Just, I want to see what happens. Okay, so we still only got a neutral, which isn't ideal, but I didn't really take very much damage, so, you know, that's good. 14 points. Wow, that's not a lot. I could get 2 tips, or... I mean, I used Insight. It was quite successful. Let's double check the other options. So it looks like Insight was probably the right choice, given Repression is bad, Instinct is kind of middling, and we can't even select attachment at all, so... Let's just research this one to start with, because... if she breaks out, we might have a problem. Alright, well, Jelka can have the next round. Apparently she's more capable at suppressing abnormalities than we are. We're still getting reasonably good scores. I mean, I don't know where a bad is, but it's also possible neutral drops her counter and we're all about to die. Yeah, so insight good, attachment bad. We got our level 1 observation. We're still considered high odds. Even with instinct, it's considered high at our current debuff. So because I could use some HP, I'll go in there working on insight, or instinct. So Little Red Riding Hooded Mercenary is waiting for contracts. That is her name. And she is in fact linked to the wolf, as you can surely guess. Not terribly good that time around. Let's get a couple tips to see what's going on now. Should always get these early. So requesting her to suppress escaped abnormalities or ordeals is a good way to take care of things. However, the request has a cost. And when an employee who has worked on... That's going to be the wolf, I bet. Completes the work. Her counter is reduced. Oh, man. I should double check what the wolf is doing. His clip-off counter has not gone down. I'm going to have to do a little bit of careful planning here with these two. If I send someone to work on, I believe, Little Red Riding Hooded Mercenary, if I send them to the wolf, they will then be eaten. And it'll probably escape. Well, reduce counter, eat. If someone's been eaten, do the instinct. If someone's injured from Little Red, it'll drop his counter. If Little Red enters the hallway, it'll drop his counter. And then we might be able to get them out once they get eaten. The problem is maybe actually her breaking out more importantly, because if she loses her counter when we work on the wolf, that means we either can't work on the wolf at all, or she starts to break free, and that's gonna kind of not be great, let's just say. Okay, that's probably enough for the current level, because we're gonna start getting bads if we go much further here. Decreased every time any abnormality escapes, other than the wolf, I think. Actually, 00256 is not F0258 or 57. So I'm not sure who that is. That might be something we don't know. So something maybe is that Punishing Bird or something? Maybe it doesn't count for the Punishing Bird. Because it escapes all the time. Ah! Haha, good guess. Good guess. So 0256 is Punishing Bird. It breaks out all the time. And fortunately, that doesn't count. But that said, this is still a terrible effect. Because things do escape, and then she makes it worse by also escaping. If there's howling, she probably immediately escapes. So if the wolf gets nearby, she's done. Alright, well, we're gonna at least finish our first cycle here. I'm not super excited about this, to be honest, but I've also never had both of them in the same base, so we'll see. Alright, Army in Black. We do need to get... So we actually... No, it's white damage. So yeah, Grotham can work on it. I gotta get the sniper weapon back. Hey, Pug. Hey, Zimiak. We only started a little while ago. I tried to start a little bit earlier today. Just because it's the weekend and it's a little bit easier to start not so late. We're gonna work on Melting Love, but not until we're pretty much ready to bail at any second. So just hold off on that. And we don't need to work on the mountain at the moment, because we've already got his equipment. So we can hold out for a little bit. We did get a good result on the army, which is 23 exactly. Now, getting a neutral on the army is actually no big deal. So let's just finish off guess we mostly just stick with insight here. Basically, one more work, and that should be enough for the sniper rifle, and then we can mostly ignore it at that point. As a UK time zone, you appreciate. Yeah, I know. It's really hard balancing time zones across the world. Like, there's no perfect time to stream these things. If I go late in the night, it's a little bit more convenient for people in my time zone, because it's more likely you're off work. If you do it in the morning, it's more convenient for European time zone. Australians and people in, like, Asia, it's even more ridiculous. I have no idea when the good time is. New Zealand has its own special time zone, I think. Anyway, good news. The weapon is got. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6 Aleph weapons basically gathered. So the Night of Despair, the only gimmick really is the first person that works doesn't get to work on anything else for the day. So we're going to send Thorinum in because Thorinum is already pretty much max stats, and he's in an area with lots of workers, so the other people can do the work. I'm not actually sure if I can work on the wolf anymore. We got a lot of good work out of him early game, but it seems like every time we send someone to him now, Little Red's gonna start escaping. And I need to see her counter. Like, maybe she's got a really large counter and it's fine for a little bit, but I bet you it's like a 2 or a 3, and it won't take much before she escapes. Alright, so that said, let's just do some training on some of the lower level characters, because, you know, they don't get a whole lot of love lately. Get some of those justice stats ranked up. We do have the HR spiders. We haven't used them a whole lot lately either. I mean, the people around here are actually pretty HP heavy, so don't look at Schadenfreude. It's very important. There you go, Dobry. We'll let you go play with the Snow Queen for a bit. I'm sure you'll be fine. Okay, so we'll get our first meltdown in a second. Shouldn't be too much to worry about. I think Casco training up Justice most of the day will make a lot of sense. Casco needs to work on Fortitude and Prudence and Justice, so at least we'll get one of those going. Alright, first meltdown. The Forsaken Murderer is a little bit angry. That's almost nothing to worry about. I guess we'll just go Fortitude for Pixel. We have the Crazed Notes we can basically ignore. And the Night of Despair. Oh, we actually didn't get a good result, so she hasn't blessed anybody yet. So let's send, or maybe she did. Okay, 14 is technically a good. Pretty much everybody down here in the lower levels has already got maxed out Temperance, which is great. So I'll try to send in someone from the higher team, like Dobry. Why not? She'll be fine. She won't bite. And then now that we're done the first cycle, we can do the, well, the negative percentages have been reset. So it seemed like Insight and Instinct were reasonable. Try to max out my HP again. A little bit scared about seeing her clip off counter, just because I'm not sure how much time I have. How do Red and the Wolf work? I don't exactly know yet. I think they fight each other if they're both free. He definitely breaks out if he hears her, or if someone works on her and then works on him, they get eaten. Or if she injures someone and they go nearby, he breaks out. I'm still learning about what she does, though, and that's what's getting me scared. But that's the rest of the tips. So, she is, what's her number? She's 57. So just keep in mind, 57 is Little Red Riding Hood, and 58 is the Wolf. 0258? Let me double check, but I'm almost sure. 0258, yeah. So where were we? Last couple tips. When Little Red encounters the Wolf, Little Red turns super hostile. When another target suppressed by... Or no, that's... Yeah, no, I got it right. It's hard to keep track of who's who. When another target suppressed the big bad wolf and not Little Red. So she wants to suppress the wolf. So if someone else suppresses the wolf, she will attack anything. So if the big bad wolf escapes, she escapes and they tries to hunt it down. If she kills it, I don't know what happens. But if we kill it, she gets very mad. She still gets very hostile when she encounters the wolf anyway. If the wolf gets out near her, she escapes. If anything else escapes, her counter goes down, other than punishing bird. You can't work on Little Red and then the wolf. Or, this is... I don't think you can work on the wolf at all, because her counter goes down. So if anyone works on the wolf, she escapes eventually. And she can help us suppress things, theoretically. It's not a great combo. Not a great combo. I gotta say, I'm not a huge fan of her breaking free because other abnormalities break out, or because someone works on the wolf. Hopefully she's got some awesome weapons or something to make up for it. Why is she... Well, you can... I think it might cost energy, but we can pay her to suppress something. And maybe that increases her counter. Like, she successfully suppresses something, and then she's content. And then she won't attack us. Maybe. I don't want to bet on that just yet. Let's just keep learning more until we got the max research, because she's kind of weird. And she is Wah, so I mean, you're expecting kind of dangerous mechanics. Very good result, though. Good job, Self. Okay. And she hasn't seemed to broke free... She hasn't... Oh, there you go. Clip off counter of 3. So... The problem with that is essentially, if 3 other things break free, like, say, the Mothman, or, I don't know, the robots or something, every time one of them breaks free, her counter is going to go down. According to tip number 3. Yeah, she's something. She's just not a little girl anymore. Alright, so she does have some interesting looking weapons. Some straight across the board 0.6 Wah equipment. That's pretty sweet. And some very fast shotgun flip knife, I guess. Interesting. I mean, we need all the Wah equipment we have, so this is good. She also shares her face if you get that 3% drop. We have not had the luck to get that yet, but, you know. Alright. Oh, I got some nerd glasses at some point. Where did those come from? The grinder. Jelka's got the other nerd glasses. Alright, well, I'll go in a couple more... Well, minus 16%, maybe one more time. Because we fully researched her, it's a little bit easier to work on her, but, well, I mean, I want to get the armor and weapons first. So we'll do that, and then we'll figure it out. Hello, Hades. We just started maybe 20 minutes ago, give or take. Just on the first day. A little bit not happy about having Little Red Riding Hood in our base. But, yeah, we'll see how it goes. We're going to do one more work on her, because I think we can survive. And while that's going on, we'll do some more work otherwhere in the base. Other places, whatever. Just, for the most part, working on stats for other people, because we don't need to stress out about energy too much at this point. So I want to get more people up to level 5 stats. And I guess we shouldn't work on the wolf anymore. Which is kind of weird, I gotta say. I believe Hades. There you are. Punishing Bird escaped. That's no big deal. Looks like it's David's turn. He's the only one up here right now, so he's going to have to handle it. But yeah, Hades, you're up here. You know, still doing good. You got your weapon back and all that. Nothing a whole lot exciting for you just yet, but you're still alive. That's what counts. The good thing that happened, in case anyone's wondering, is we got On Jirao, we got the 1% drop on the cool helmet thing that makes you do extra damage with the sniper rifle. So that's pretty cool. And I think... yeah, Robert also got the 1% drop off of this thing. So we've had some kind of crazy luck to make up for all the death. Alright, we got a 10 on that, but nobody died, so that's okay. 60, so we need about 130 to get all the equipment there. So 2 more and we'll get the first ordeal done. Not too scary generally. Let's send Hades over. Information team Mia finally made it all the way down there. That's the downside of sending slow people with low movement speed all the way down. It definitely takes a while. So we should train up probably their justice first on the robots, because it's just much easier to get there. So people with low justice, like Mia and Hades. Alright, so once that starts, we'll get our ordeal. We're about halfway, a little bit over halfway energy, so we're doing fine for that kind of thing. We get our little annoying clowns, but you guys can handle it. I am confident in your abilities. Send these guys. Can't remember. Probably didn't select them yet. Unfortunately, you know, as the base gets bigger, I wonder... okay, let's just test this out, because it's so close by. If we go request... is that how much energy it costs? I hope not. Yep, that's how much energy it costs. So that's a lot of juice just to send her out to kill one clown. That's not a great deal in that situation. But let's see what she does. You gonna do anything? She's got a cool gun. And a knife. Oh, she throws it. Did she throw that? I wonder if this janitor's dead. Well, the good news is she pops out, kills it, and she does go back to her containment. Now, it did cost a lot of energy, and she might have done some friendly fire. It's weird because, yeah, the little clown guys are certainly Teth class, so I'm not sure exactly what that means. But maybe it costs different amounts for ordeals or something. Did I get them all or did I miss one? I feel like I missed one of the clowns. Why are you guys letting this escape? Seriously? Seriously, guys! You can't let the clowns get melting love out. I'm pretty sure I told you guys to go guard this room. That's great. You're gonna let the janitors kill it? Okay, well, on the plus side, it didn't get out yet. That's not good. So I don't think enough janitors actually died. I think the clowns just did damage to the clip-off counter. We actually haven't had a lot of deaths, we just had a stupid clown. You definitely got to keep your eyes on those better. That sucks. Alright, back to work. We need some energy, so we're going to do some A-lift work because I need the energy right now. I don't want to run out of time when this thing breaks out. If we get like a purple noon ordeal that kills all the things, he's going to break, and that would be bad. Yeah, I'm just sending in the people with the lowest justice for the most part, train them up. Trying to work the HE and WAS, the higher, you know, value things first, if possible. So we'll be able to get the armor for sure here, no doubt about it. I guess what I want to find out is, should I let something safe escape to drop her counter and then hire her to kill it again? I think I'm going to wait till I see what the next ordeal is, because if we do get a green or purple ordeal, we probably can't survive. It's probably not safe. Guess it doesn't really matter who we send like normal. So that's going to be tick. We probably have 2 more ticks left. Let's send someone from the information team, like Mia and Hades, to go deal with some robots. And then the next thing we do will trigger the meltdown. Of course, the bird keeps breaking out. Alright, we got some cool armor. Maybe we'll be able to get this today. We might want to wait another day just to make sure we can not risk our lives. I'm being more cautious. Ever since a certain employee got turned into slime, I've been trying to be a little bit more careful. Okay. Actually, we should probably leave David in the regenerator normally so that he actually regenerates. Who died? They've been redacted. You'd have to just notice who disappeared. There definitely was someone that I was sending into the slime chamber too much. Alright, David, we'll send you over there. Somebody that I was working on in here quite a lot. One of our high-level employees that is no longer with us. Alright. Level 3 meltdown. We've got a picture. I'm gonna... Because we have another meltdown, actually, we're actually kind of happy. We actually have a nice, easy day. We made it all the way to level 5 with no noon ordeals, so we're okay. We got a tree over here, a little bit upset. Let's send Turkey for the tree. Let's send Hades for the HR spiders. We'll trigger the room quick just to save some energy. Beauty! It's a good low-level... repression trainer. Rides fella blue. Well, 2 of those. Well, there's blue over here, and I think we saw Rides, didn't we? Yeah, Rides is there. Fella's in Twitch chat. He's lurking. Don't forget to go into the room and then get out of it. It's very important. Actually, not a lot of meltdowns down here like I was expecting. Oh, fella is everywhere. None can escape the watchful eye of the moderator. We'll just let that steal some energy. It's no big deal. Yeah, see, Rides is alive. We'll just send him over there. Working on Night of the Spare still. Although, to be fair, most people have enough temperance to get by. We've successfully stacked that stack quite well, which I'm happy about. Brotham over here. That's fine. Go work on that. I guess I should test out the wolf thing before the end of the day. And someone has to work on the slime thing anyways to get some more. It's probably about time to start talking about melting slime work so that we can try to get that weapon, because there's a beautiful purse that we would love to add to our collection. But it's not easy to get. Speaking of gambling! Who are we going to send to gamble? Rides? Rides isn't here. He'll never know what happened. I think Robert was Robert was meant to be our slime suppressor. And keep forgetting to send these people down to the second floor just for efficiency. Okay, so once we start working on the slime, we've got to be careful. That's why we wanted enough energy to end the day if we need it. I would also, of course, like to get my quota of wall weapons while we're doing it. So let's keep that going in the background. Seems to be fairly safe to work on her as long as nothing is escaping, which is something. But anyway, here you go, Robert. Seems like it doesn't really matter what you pick first. We'll start with attachment. So we'll send him in there to make friends with the slime. Now the good news is we're only a day or two away of execution bullets. And execution bullets will handle janitors that get slimed. So this won't be quite as bad in a couple more days. But I'd still like to get that awesome purse a little bit quicker. So we'll let him do that, and then we'll send him in right away. Because it seems like we're probably safe mostly when you are inside a containment room and not infecting people in the hallway. You did get pretty good score, though. If you can get over 25, the clip-off counter does not decrease, which is definitely the target. Now, keep an eye on these employees in the room. Because every time he sparkles, I think they have a chance of joining the slime army. Now, if he can get a 24 or higher on insight, that will protect the employees for a little while. And I don't think it can spread from one hallway up this way, right? Like, it's only the employees that are right near him. So we're going to let him finish his work, and then we're going to set off the meltdown, and then we'll see what happens. And yeah, the execution bullets, those are... They're happy executions. Totally beneficial. Happy little bullets. Looks like he's doing quite well, though. Like I said, if he can hit 24, we're actually quite safe. So this was very good, very well done there, Robert. I'll even send him to the main room to heal because he's not going to infect anyone for the next... I believe it's 30 seconds. If you can trust it, if you do insight with 24 or higher, theoretically, everyone will live. So they're very good job. Alright, let's set off the next meltdown, and then we'll send him back in there to keep him out of the general population. It also resets the penalty. So now... Well, I mean, he's got to wait 7 more seconds, but... What did we get to melt down? The problem is, if the wolf melts down, I'm not sure what we're going to do. Because every time we work the wolf, Little Red's going to get a little bit cranky. Speaking of Little Red, she's a little bit cranky. Let's keep working her. And HR spiders. Hades, you go reconnect. Tree's a little bit cranky. I don't like this tree very much. And this guy, this annoying jerk. Stupid murderer. That's 1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, the space spider. It's like Turkey's got a date with the space spider. Pretty much. Oh, don't forget the snow queen. Pretty much everybody, but not quite everybody. Jean Mathieu. I think that's it. Actually, the melting love did melt down. But it's okay. Alright, so all we want to do is end our day before the purple noon hits, because the purple noon We'll kill a lot of employees and guaranteed break out 2 of our very dangerous monsters. And I just don't want to have to fight that yet. So for now, the goal will be try to get this gun, work Melting Love as many times as we can before the end of the day, and that's about it. So nothing too crazy. Also, keep the bird mostly dealt with. We will lose some energy from the meltdown, but it's not going to be that much. The main thing here is to find out if we get a 24, maybe a 25. Looks like we're probably going to get high enough score. Is that... Alright, almost enough for the cool gun. 1 more for there. This will be a pretty good day for equipment, assuming this works. Although, let's see, we started today at 50. It's pretty unlikely we can make it anywhere near that purse. Oh! 25, come on! Yes! 25 is what we need, and we got a little bit extra. Beautiful. Alright, we'll put him in this room just to get 1 heal, and then send him back to his quarantine room. And conveniently, because it melting this down was actually quite lucky, because when you work a meltdown, it doesn't increase the penalty percentages. So it's kind of like a free action that doesn't actually doesn't increase the counter or any of that kind of stuff. So it's actually got some value in these things melting down. Okay, we can't end the day. We're 40 energy low. Let's go 1 more work on Little Red, and this should get us the weapon. Other than that, we're really just training stats and trying to make sure the Melting Love doesn't escape. So I will only kind of send people to do WA for the end of the day here. Mia's like level 4. We'll send David. It's a long walk. But he's got white protection armor, so he'll be okay. It's kind of like one of the few things we'll do while we're trying to train Robert up, and then we'll just end the day. And the good news is, like, once we've got the weapon and armor from this thing, we'll be able to mostly leave it alone, and then it won't be so bad. It won't be such a grind. Alright, cool gun knife combo get. Robert got another 26, which is enough. We'll get him a little bit of heals. And we'll send him in again. Unfortunately, every time we do this, it does get a little bit harder. So I wouldn't expect a whole lot more 25s and 26s. Mind you, best case scenario, we only need about 64 more points, or 66 more points. It's possible with 1 more 25, another good, we might actually make it to the purse today. But just keep an eye on those percentages. It's not going to be a 25 this time. Alright, so basically, chances are we have one more work, and then that's the end of it. And in addition, he's not protected from slime spreading. So, until I send him back in there, he could infect people. But we're just going to send him in one last time, because this is probably the end of the day right here. The good news is this will put us up to nearly 200, which means tomorrow we should certainly get the weapon. Which is, like, this has been quite successful. If we went from 50 to almost, say, around 200, that's pretty darn good. And once an employee is infected, they can spread it to other employees, so theoretically it can be passed around up here. You never know when it's going to go real bad. Alright, this was not a hugely success. If we sent him in again, he would almost certainly have the same thing that happened to Fella. Which is, he would turn into a slime monster, and we would lose all of his very valuable gear. So let's just say that's good enough for now. Alright, that was a pretty long day, but, you know, these episodes they're going to take a little bit of time. We got 1 promotion. That was Mia, level 5, getting some good stats. Who's in chat? Dobry, I saw earlier, you're actually pretty high stats too. Look at this. You just need a little bit more work on your justice and a little bit more rounding out, but you're pretty high up there. Casco David, where's Hades? Hades in there. Also, yeah, I got a little ways to go, but we're getting close to the top tier stats. Most of our employees are pretty well ranked up in stats, so it's more just a shortage of equipment and new employees that's the trouble right now. But we have some points. And, yeah, that day wasn't too bad. I'm still worried about what's going to happen with Little Red and the Wolf, and maybe we should just trigger that to see what happens, but... For now, let's pick a new abnormality. Its scale tilted according to the sins committed. Gotta say, I'm not 100% familiar with that one. This is a forest full of hearts. No matter how many times he cuts down the hearts, the forest remains dense. I think I've seen that one before, and I'm not a huge fan. Please eat my dreams. This guy keeps trying. He really keeps trying to show up here. I'm pretty sure he's Teth, though, and Teth means the equipment is basically garbage. At our point in the game, it's kind of just a wasted slot. The Forest Full of Hearts is related to, without super spoiling it, but I'm trying to skip these ones a bit, it's related to the Wizard of Oz trilogy. So, we saw one that may have been a scarecrow, and this one might be someone who cuts down hearts. Yeah, that's the link. Anyway, just to spoil it a little bit here, basically you have to have a specific low stat to work this guy. If you have, I think it's your temperance, your emotional stat. If it's too high, you basically can only work him once per day, which is just not a lot of fun. So he's kind of frustrating. He's one of those requires, I think actually all of the Wizard of Oz 3 require basically to keep one employee with low stats, or at least one low stat. And yeah, gross. So yeah, I don't know what this will do, but if it gets us another Aleph or Wah, that would be great. The fact that I don't recognize it gives it a little bit of an edge to maybe be high rank, because I certainly know the low rank stuff more commonly. So the scale tilted according to the sins committed. Actually, I have an idea who this might be. I'm not 100% sure, but remember Punishing Bird? There's I think a kind of trilogy of birds, and they also kind of have a sin scale kind of theme going on in the background. So maybe this is one of the birds, in which case Fella will have a great time. I mean, he's dead already, but maybe we'll resurrect him. In our world, the mind is nothing. Everything is advancing, but the human mind is too slow to catch up. All that remains are the 26 singularities and the ones tied to them. Now, I believe the singularities are supposed to be for one wing, as in each mega corporation in the anime. So, something like that. Again, some of this background world lore is way beyond me. Humankind deserted their former beliefs and now do not respect the various things that were supporting us. Now, no one ever dreams, because I keep not selecting the Dream Eater. Never believes in something or desires anything. The belief once strong within someone is now obsolete and worthless. Everything has gone quiet, as if nothing happens in the first place. But A couldn't stand the silence. So what do you think happened to A? On a bright sunny day, he died. I was both the first witness of his death and one of the culprits of his murder. Remember the Frost Queen story? But A has been existing here, and he has been watching you ever since you stepped inside. Great. He's dead, but he's watching. Sometimes, Sapphires would ask me, why do we have to bear this pain? Machines should exist only as a tool for specified work. But why do we have to know the agony of loss, obsession, hope, and despair? I thought I could answer anything, but not even I could answer that. A machine must behave like a machine. It's something A told me often. Perhaps A, who would know better than anyone, made us like this because it's all but a puppet show for him. You seem to have no idea. Of course, there's no way for you to know, but it's time for you to know the answer. It's something I've always done. First as hope, second as agony, third is pain, fourth is anxiety, fifth is distress, etc., etc., etc. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, I think. Now, nothing remains. Commencing memory synchronization. She's synchronizing some memory. Maybe we'll figure out that the next day. Alright, everyone say hello to the next anime waifu. She is Gebura. She is the disciplinary team lead. What? Who are you? I guess I'm the manager? Ah, yeah, that. You're the new manager. Sorry, you don't even look like a manager. Other departments may kiss your ass, even when you walk around with an air of arrogance for being a manager. But in here, such pompous attitude will be your noose someday. She's got a cigarette. Remember, she's a robot. AI. In fact, we've seen what they look like. We know she's just a little Wall-E-style robot. Well, since you've made it here, I guess you won't be a deadweight at least. I'm Gebura, head of the disciplinary department. I guess I should give her like an accent or something. We're the best combat department among the Sapphira, so we don't need cowards. Want to know the type I hate most? Crybabies, who constantly whine about how abnormalities or employees are piteous. They don't want to see anyone die. It's just a soldier refusing to kill in the middle of battle. If you're not one of those kind, then we can work together at least. Alright. Why do I hate the abnormalities, though? Why does it require an explanation? What are the abnormalities to you, really? Holy entities, poor creatures locked underground, precious beings who produce energy for us? Wrong. Abnormalities can be damaged, but never destroyed. But they can feel pain. Let's make life as painless as possible. I feel like that's a mistranslation. She probably means to say, let's make life as painful as possible, actually. Because the goal here is to suppress an abnormality 5 times. Now, you can see right away that this is going to be a problem, because Little Red Riding Hood will break free. And I need to do this quest, because that's how I get my bullets. Alright. We're gonna have to figure it out somehow tomorrow. What level is it, at least? It's a wall! It's a wall, yo! So, at the very least... it is a friggin' bird, after all. Oh, fella, you lucky dog. So, I did sort of know what it was. I'm glad we picked it, though, one way or the other. Because wall will mean better equipment. The other ones, I'm pretty sure, were Teth or Heh. So this is going to be better gear one way or the other. But it is a bird with a scale. An unfair scale, even. Ah, great. But, you know, we'll be fine. The trick will be the quest. And of course, now that we've got a new day, we could also try to do a Sapphira core suppression at the same time as everything else. It's probably going to get us killed. Anyway, future tubers, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Have a great day. We'll probably need to do a suppression /mission/ learn about the bird next episode. See you there.